Because you want the person coming to the situation, the crisis situation, you want them with the tools, the skill set, and the mental and emotional wherewithal, the calmness to handle that situation. A buddy of mine, he said something a long time ago. He's a fire chief in San Diego. He used to always say, when you talk to new people that are coming in, I said, don't help the person who's crying, help the person who's dying. And he always kind of said this because, you know, some rookie people, they'd come on, they'd get onto a bad situation. And someone who's crying in the corner may be causing the most noise. But if you don't survey the situation well enough, now I'm just speaking what he said. I'm not a firefighter or a first responder by any means. Then you may miss the actual person that's in serious need. So the reason why we call this a first responder, be a first responder, is because throughout my years helping teens and parents connect, I just came up with this concept based on some conversations with my friend. How do you show up to a potential crisis, challenging situation? And I don't know if you guys out there that are listening, if you've ever been around a teenager, some things can seem like a crisis that aren't a crisis. I know that's a shock. I know all you parents out there, people out there are like, wait, what? I mean, teenagers are dramatic and they get excited and worried and stressed about things? Yes. Okay?
The same is true for the moms.
I was just going to say, now imagine if a mom shows up to a scenario, or a coach or anyone, the teenager's stressed, they're freaking out, and the parent shows up and they start freaking out and they start getting stressed because the teenager's stressed. Obviously, that's not a first responder. So what we call that a first reactor, or AKA a first overreactor. I jokingly tell people all the time, to be a first responder, like a real paramedic or firefighter, you got to be trained, you got to be skilled, you got to go into those tough situations, and you got to practice, right? So it takes some time. You're not going to be a veteran right away. Everyone's a rookie when they're first time on the job as a first responder. But as a parent, as anyone working with youth right now, the way you become a first reactor is very easy. You just freak out. It actually comes very natural.
Supernatural.
You don't have to take a course on it. You don't got to go to debt and get some student loans to become a first reactor. All you got to do is show up and go, what the? And you just got to go, why'd this happen? How come you just, how many times do I have to tell you, right? You just start questioning the person.
Raise your voice immediately.
Oh, the best one too. Make sure your facial expressions are over the top. Your body language, throwing your hands up, right? So to become a first reactor, you just have to freak out. To become a first responder, that's what we're talking about in our Q&A / it's not a seminar. We've been having a hard time describing exactly what it is. But when you come to this event, you're going to hear some very important things about Heidi that we're going to talk about in a few moments, about the struggles and challenges it is to continually parent when you've had bad things happen. How do you keep a connection when you have reason to be fearful of losing a connection, right? And then what I do is I come in and I give you a couple little simple tools to help you be a first responder. And then we're going to open it up to the audience, because ultimately we want people to have conversations. The whole entire, like I said earlier in the show, it takes a village, to raise a child. Right. Well, if we have 100, 200 people in the audience, they're hearing people talk about personal things, asking questions, weighing in on one another. I imagine people seeing each other in Costco, looking across the room like, hey, I saw you at that event. Man, like, so glad. You know that if someone sees your kid out somewhere going through something, and it's not like, doing something bad. Maybe you just see kids hanging their head down. I remember this woman. I met her at the event. I can text her. I can hit her up on social media. Hey, just want to let you know, might want to check in with your child. That's where we want to get back to as communities. We want to get back to that hands-on. We're trying to help each other out. We're not trying to control one another. And it could be a teenager reaching out to another teenager. Right? The best way for teenagers to learn how to become a first responder is if their parents are modeling it.